Hello and welcome to, we're on session 10B, which is about the speak and listen assessment. So this is what it's all boiled down to. You are now going to do your presentation and I'm going to explain how the assessment works. So this video is crucial. Do not skip it. Do not think that you understand it. Please watch it. Now, I've done a podcast that gives you an overview of speaking and listening. We've looked at the speaking and listening assessment overview, so that tells you what it is, how it works. There's some tips on how to do a really good presentation. I've given you 3 examples of a speaking and listening assessment and then the mock exam. So just to give you an idea of how it works. So this is what it will look like on the day. So on the day, we would have fixed a pre-time. We're doing this via Zoom, so we're going to come together and we're going to look at, for example, the first one. So we'll start at 9 o'clock in the morning. You'll have an opportunity to go away and get yourself prepared. Then we come back, we do the assessment. Then you have a bit more preparation time. We do the second assessment and then it's done. So just have a look. So you can see here, we've got the first activity topic, which is called fundraising. Now here, this is exactly what the assessment's going to look like. So level 2 functional skills, speaking, listening and communicating. So you're going to be given a scenario. So many people take part in activities and events raising money for good causes. However, running a successful fundraising campaign can take a lot of planning. Often raising money involves a number of different activities to attract as many participants as possible, and of course raise a lot of money. You have decided to run an event or activity to raise money for charities of your choice. So the first thing that we're going to do is you're going to see the 5 topics. Now you're all going to choose just one of these topics. Okay, so that's the first thing. So here you're going to pick one, say for example. Okay, that's fine. You will then have 3 hours of preparation time to prepare an 8-minute presentation on the selected topic for at least 3 learners. So we must have at least 3 people in the group. I'm not in the group, so I can't be counted. So there's going to be 3 of you in the group, and you're going to pick a topic each. It is 8 minutes long. So you're going to be given 3 hours to prepare an 8-minute presentation. A further 20 minutes of optional presentation is allowed for you to prepare directly before your presentation takes place. So what that means is we do one presentation, we then have a break, and then you will have 20 minutes to prepare yours. Now we can negotiate that in the morning, and again we can negotiate those 3 hours. It's up to that time. Okay, so that 20 minutes, you may feel that you don't need 20 minutes, but that's just to set up everything to make sure that you're ready and you're organized. After you have finished your presentation, you are going to be required to answer questions from the audience. Okay, so task 1 is an 8-minute presentation based on a topic that you're going to pick in line with me in the morning of the assessment. Right, in task 2, the presenter, so that's you, the person that's done this, once your presentation is finished, you must invite questions about your topic from the audience, responding to each question in turn. So everybody must take part. So you can see it's 3 to 5 minutes per learner. Okay, so, and the reason it's 3 to 5 minutes per learner, so for you, is if we've got 3 people in the group, it's going to take a minute each, or if there's 5 in the group, it's going to take 5 minutes. So it's just depending on the size of the group. But anyway, it's roughly a minute each. So each person is going to ask you a question. You need to answer it roughly about a minute long. Okay. During your presentation, so this is for the audience now. So when you're participating, so this is your listening bit, during the presentation, you are required to identify one detailed and you need to look at one detailed question that you're going to ask the presenter during the question and answer session. So you're not allowed to answer you're not allowed to ask your question during the presentation. So you have to watch the presentation, and as you're watching, write down your question. Okay, and then you're going to ask that question at the end, so when it's your time. And again, you're going to go round, so one at a time. There can be no questions asked during the presentation, so you can see that there, you're not allowed to ask during the presentation. Your questions can only be asked after the presentation has finished. Okay, so that's task 2. And then finally, in task 3, once you have all done your presentations, we come back together to do the group discussion. And the group discussion is 5 to 6 minutes per learner. So following task 1 and 2, you'll be required to take part in a group discussion. Your group will consist of a minimum of 3 learners. You have been provided with the title and the aim of this group discussion below. From the scenario of fundraising, please prepare the discussion points using the following title and aims. So for example here, title, what is the most effective way people raise money for good causes? And then aim, the group should aim to reach an agreement of 4 most important factors to think about when they're trying to raise money for a good cause. This should be recommendations as to the type of fundraising which would raise the most money. So you've got the title and then the purpose. So you're then going to have that time to come together to think up of 4 important factors. So during the discussion about the topic and the aims, you are required to ask detailed and pertinent questions to obtain specific information. You will not be told when to do so by your assessor, so I won't be saying anything. You must decide when in the discussion is the best for you to ask at least 1 question. So you must ask a detailed and pertinent question. You will have 1 hour optional preparation time to prepare for this discussion on the selected topic, and a further 20 minutes of optional preparation time is allowed for you to prepare directly before the discussion takes place. So you know what you're doing. You've got 3 things. You've got your 8-minute presentation. You're going to do some question off that presentation, and you then have to manage that group discussion. And then from your group discussion, you need to come up with 4 most important factors. Now, I'm going to show you the marking grid so you understand what it is that you're going to have. Now, ignore the topics and all the names. That's not what you're going to have. So yours will be agreed in the morning because you're not allowed to know beforehand. However, so the structure is you have to cover 3 tasks that each learner must complete to achieve. So task 1, a presentation on a given topic, 8 minutes to an audience of a minimum of 3 learners. Task 2 is a question and answer session taking place directly after the presentation, lasting 3 to 5 minutes. And then task 3, a group discussion with a minimum of 3 learners on a given topic, lasting 5 to 6 minutes per learner. Now, this is the marking sheet that I have when I mark you. So you can see here, identify relevant information, expand explanations on the presentation. And here I can mark how it's done, and then I write what it is for the evidence that I saw. So ultimately, you need to do your presentation, and I use this as the marking sheet. So you can see there then what's being met. So 2.1, 2.2 and 2.3 is all going to be met through the group discussions. through participating or through being the audience asking the questions, but it won't be done through the presentation. Through the presentation, you can see you're covering 5, 6 and 7. And here it gives you a breakdown a bit more. So this can be done by supporting, providing time and opportunity at the beginning of the discussion for each learner. So here it tells you quite clearly what I need to see. Now, if you want to know more, you can simply go onto the NCFE's website, Functional Skills Level 2. You go to Assessment Materials. You go to Past Papers. And then here, if you go down to Speaking and Listening, you can see you've got the assessment grid. So that's what I'm going to be assessing you against. Now, equally, you've got different stuff there that's been assessed and and there's a supplementary answer book there. So there's lots of other tips and things on there for you to look at as well for your speaking and listening assessment. So hopefully that's given you an idea of what's going to happen on the day. So just to recap, you will be given a date and a time. You're going to have 3 hours to prepare an 8-minute presentation. You'll present that to a minimum group of 3 people. You'll then move on and you'll do your questions and answers. So each person in that group must ask you a question. You must answer that question. It must be about a minute long. That's that bit done. And then you're going to take part in a group discussion, and then you're going to complete that task. And that is what is required for your speaking and listening examination. Now, it's obviously going to be done on Zoom, so it is recorded. I'll obviously mark it. Then what happens is those are then sent for internal moderation and then external moderation before we can give you the grades. So it's quite a long process and we need to get that done as soon as possible. So please make sure you have watched all of the 10 videos on how to prepare a presentation. You understand the assessment criteria, and you're just going to turn up on the day for your assessment. Now, it's really important. Now, this is really important. If you are booked in for the assessment, please make sure you turn up, because we cannot do it if somebody drops out on the day. And then that's unfair for everyone, because everyone's then prepared, they've got themselves psyched up, they're ready to do the assessment. So please do not let people down once you have booked your functional skills exam day for speaking and listening. Okay, brilliant. I wish you all the best of luck. There's not really much you can do beforehand because you're not going to know what the topics are until the morning. But we will take it from there. I'm going to be running the speaking and listening assessments once a week, so you'll be able to book yourself onto that to be able to get that component done. Okay, lovely. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I wish you all the best of luck.